Well, hello, stamping friends. This is Tracy Rather from Plum Crazy Stamping, and it's Wednesday at 1 o'clock, and it's August 7th, 2024. This is our weekly card making lesson, and I'm so excited to share it with you because not only are we going to make a beautiful card, but since this is scrapbooking month here at Plum Crazy Stamping, I'm also going to just show you how this image can be created to use in your scrapbook too. So without further ado here, I am going to just let the desktop picture be larger so that you'll have a better look at this. And as you're coming aboard on Facebook, please use the comments to sign in and let me know where you're watching from. And if you're on YouTube, please do the same thing, but you'll need to be in your Google account so that you can use the comments on Facebook. And once again, I'm very interested in who you are, where you're watching from. And if you have any questions during the broadcast or on replay, please use the comments for that as well. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And hi, Kim, nice to see you here. As I was thinking about the card that I was going to do today, as I said, I'm kind of doing a 2-for-1 here because I wanted to do a card making lesson like we usually do, but I also wanted to create something that is going to be a part of the scrapbook class that I'm doing next Tuesday afternoon. And so that's where I got my color scheme from. And I had looked through all my photos, figured out what were some of the things I was going to feature in the scrapbook that I'm making of my vacation, which ended a couple of weeks ago. And I decided that one of the topics is ice cream. So it's kind of funny. My friend that I went on vacation with, she challenged herself. She wanted to have ice cream every day. We were gone for 8 days. But believe it or not, there was a different ice cream place for her to go 6 out of those 8 days. Now, I only made 3 out of 8, but she got 6 out of 8. So I'm going to do something kind of cool in my scrapbook about a scorecard and eating ice cream. But when I was thinking about what kind of stamp sets I had that would work with that, I decided I'm going to use one of the Encore stamps that are in our annual catalog, 24 to 25. So that's what this is. And on page 77, it's called Ice Cream Swirl. And if I show it to you on here, it's a little more up close. What I liked about this is a great card front size, and this is a great size of an image to put on a 12 by 12 scrapbook page. So that's why I chose this set. I also like the fact that it has a die set that matches. And so as I'm thinking about doing scrapbooking, I'm thinking about a 3D image that I can use, something that can be interest be added because of the die cuts. And you may have seen before, I did do some cards with the ice cream cone being 3D. But anyway, today we're going to do it a little bit different because when I chose the colors, I'm going to use Real Red today because our favorite ice cream place, one of the top 2 on our vacation, was a place called Wilson's. And Wilson's color scheme is red and white. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and use that. So let's go ahead and get started here. So as I said, we're going to go with red for the card base. And I already have one here. So this is our half a piece of cardstock, right? 8.5 by 5.5. And then I scored this at 4 1/4. And I've got my card base. So move this out of the way. I decided not to go with white because I am making this a chocolate ice cream cone. And I think this very vanilla will work really well. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to connect it yet, but that is going to be my card front layer. And then I was thinking about, okay, so we're going to do chocolate ice cream and we're going to have a cone. And what was I going to do for the sprinkles, right? So I've decided to keep it, this is all chocolate. So I am going to use our new basic beige color for the ice cream cone. And then crumb cake is going to be the chocolate, and I'm going to stamp on it with pecan pie. And then I'm going to put dark chocolate jimmies on it. So with that being said, I think I have all the things I need here. So let's go ahead and start stamping. So I decided to take one shade darker, the beige on beige. I thought I would actually step it up to be crumb cake. So let me, oh, you know what? I already have the ice cream swirl loaded. So we're going to use that one first, and then I'll come back and do the cone. So I've got the swirl on here, and then I decided pecan pie was another step darker than our crumb cake. So let me just see if I can fit this on this scrap here. Sure I can. All right, I don't have to use that. I always try to use my scraps first before I have to take a clean piece of cardstock. So, hi Bonnie, how are you? Glad to see you today. So a little pecan pie. When it's these larger stamps, I like bringing the ink to the stamp mounted on the acrylic block. I did get a little bit of extra ink in here. Pecan pie is one of our new colors, and so it's pretty juicy ink pad, so I just got to be a little more careful. Got a little overzealous there, but anyway, let's go ahead and actually this is a photopolymer stamp, so I'm going to use it on my Pierce mat. Now these are line images and not solid images, so it would probably work okay without the Pierce mat, but just in case, let's make sure we get a good image of our ice cream swirl. All right, so now that's done. Then I'm going to take the piece of basic beige that I have here, and I'm going to use the crumb cake on that. I am going to wash my stamp quick here so I can use my larger block for the cone. All right, there we go. I'm glad you're doing well, Bonita. All right, so let's do the crumb cake to the cone, but I need to get the cone stamp here. Okay. We'll ink it up. I think I'll put it right on the edge here. All right. And then one of the things that's in this stamp set, which I think is a nice addition, is a cherry. And I'm actually going to stamp that right in the center here of this ice cream cone because I'm not going to need that open area for anything else. And I decided to do it in, you know, just on this color so it kind of blends in. I'm going to actually color it with stamping blends. But I don't need, you know, I don't want white because that would be pretty stark against all the colors I'm using. So I'm just deciding to let it kind of ride along here on the basic beige. Okay. And I did it in the tuxedo black memento pad because I'm going to be coloring it in. All right. So let's go ahead now and use the die cuts to cut this out. But by the magic of TV here, I have cut these out already to save us some time. So I have the cone, which now you can see is missing this part, but it's not going to matter because when I glue the chocolate swirl on the top, you're not going to see it, but I have my little cherry all ready to go, and I just need to color that in. So that's the coloring I'm going to do real quick right now. So you should always put any image that you're coloring on top of a scrap piece of paper because it may bleed through. So you don't want to like set it on top of your card and accidentally have it bleed through. So if you are not familiar with our Stampin' Blends, they are paired. They come in a dark and light. So I'm going to use Cherry Cobbler. I love the richness of that red. And some people go light to dark. Others go dark to light. It's up to you. I like to do the dark first and then color in with the light when it's a small image like this. So I'm just going to take my Real Red. I'm sorry, the dark Cherry Cobbler, and I'm going to follow the lines that the artist provided here. And then I'm going to outline the cherry itself in the Cherry Cobbler. Isn't that funny? I didn't think about that when I was deciding about Real Red versus Cherry Cobbler. I'm coloring cherries. So Cherry Cobbler is the color. All right. And get that like that. Then I'm going to go ahead, make sure you always cap these well because they are alcohol markers and they will dry out if you leave them open. And now I'm just going to go in here with the light Cherry Cobbler and do some circles and kind of color around it so that I have shading available here. Let me just color in the stem quick before I move it closer to the camera to show you. Just using a little Old Olive on the stem. Okay. And now we'll have that to embellish our ice cream cone. Get this out of the way. And we also need some jimmies here, or sprinkles, or whatever you want to call them. So let's see, I'll save this for the scrapbook class next week. And let's get just, you know, even these size scraps I end up using. You never know when it's going to work for you. So let me get the cutouts. Now, if you don't have a cut and emboss machine and you don't have the dies for this set, there is a stamp to stamp right on the ice cream cone too, but I wanted to make this a little more interesting. So I'm going to put it right on here, and if I just take a piece of my washi tape, I will actually have this where it's going to get all of those sprinkles for me. And let me bring in my mini cut and emboss machine, and we'll cut those out. And I think I'll actually do a couple runs through here to get enough for the ice cream cone. So I love this little machine. It's so portable, and it can stay right on my craft table here and not, you know, take up too much space. Okay, let's put that on there. I put the cardstock on top of the first cutting plate, then the die with the blades down, and then the second cutting plate on top of it. Let me just kind of get it all lined up here properly. And then I will just roll it through. Okay. So let's go ahead and we have a number of these little images right here on our desktop. Let me get my take your pick tool here. And I tell you what, I'm just going to stack them all on here so I don't have to go find them. Oh, and a couple of those got cut off funny, so I am going to not use those few. Okay. And then let's poke out. They all came out of here, but there were a couple stuck in the die where I had the washi tape. There. Okay. Now let me take another scrap and do that again. All right, and one of the things I want to show you is Whenever you're using your cut and emboss machine, you'll get more wear and tear out of your plates. Now the base plate always stays the same direction, but the cutting plate should be flipped every time so that they don't get warped and they stay straight to go in your machine. Otherwise they end up being very bowed, and the likelihood that you'll crack them, you know, you're more at risk for that. And then I also flipped the top cutting plate, and let me just run this through again here. All right. So I'll set that aside, and I save my washi tape that I use to hold things in place until it doesn't stick anymore. Because if it's even slightly sticky, it does help hold things in place. All right, now we have enough of our little sprinkles. Perfect. All right, I am going to put this back out of my way. Okay. Now let's go ahead and make our card. So I'm just going to set that here right now. I want to put together first my ice cream cone. And so let's see here. If you were with me Monday night when I was doing my paper pumpkin workshop, you'll know that I had the top of my glue seal off because I had left it open. So for the first time, I'm using the bottom of the glue. That is interesting. So I thought I would show you in case you've not seen somebody use it that way, because I don't think I've ever seen anybody use it that way. So I'm going to show you. So this, can you see the point on here? This is slanted, and there is an opening for the glue to come out in the center. And then where the slant is, I use it to push the glue where I want it. Oh boy, a big plop just came out. Let me put that on my mat here. But anyway, I push this to where I want it with that slanted edge. And actually, it works really nice on a card base. Okay, so now I want to put my ice cream cone on top. So I just did enough, and I'm glad I did it on my mat, because guess what? I've got extra glue on there. It'll come right off of there for me. And when we're ready to glue this to the front of the card, that'll work. All right, so I'm just going to leave it sit on here so I don't get glue all over my desktop. And then I'm going to put the cherry on, and I'm going to do that with dimensional. So I'm going to take a mini dimensional so there's not a chance of seeing it. And actually, it's kind of good I put that extra glue on here, because that's how I'm going to get the jimmies on here. But let me first put my cherry on here. There we go. All right, so now for the jimmies, sprinkles, whatever you call them, I'm just going to take them and touch them in the glue and then press them down. You know, accidents happen for a reason there. This works great. Okay, and I'm just going to kind of put them all over. And just using my tweezers really helps. Otherwise, I would have glue all over my fingers. Kind of need one of these little dots. And don't worry if you get a little glue along the side of it. It dries clear. Oops. Sometimes I pick up a little of it with my finger and then I got to go wash my hands. Anyway. So I like that these are paper and, you know, have a little height. Oops. On top of the cone because it is going to be for the front. Let's see here. All right, I think I need one more. Okay. Oop. Now I did pick up some of the glue with my fingers, so that's why it's getting stuck. Okay, so we'll set those off to the side. Got that all together. Now I want to put a, I didn't glue down the card front yet because I want to be able to stamp on it, make sure it's the way I want it, and then I will glue it down after I have that done. So let me kind of place the ice cream cone. You know, I always see these slanted. I'm going to go for straight. And let's see, I need the words yum yum are on here. So let's go ahead and I'm going to stamp those in. Let me see if I can find the cherry cobbler here. There we go. Ah, but this is real red. I better stick with real red. All right. There we go. And I'm going to go inside and say, hope your day is sweet. Now this could be a thank you card, but I'm not going to do that. I'll be able to have more uses for it if I want to turn this into happy birthday or something. So I'm just going to stamp on, slide those there, on the inside with hope your day is sweet. And I'll use the same color. Sometimes when there's not a lot of, you know, other design I'm going to do inside, I like to have the lettering either match or contrast, you know, whatever your card base color is. It makes it pop a little bit. So we've got that. Better push this shut before I stick my whole hand in it. There we go. Okay, kind of set these off to the side. I'll be washing them as soon as I'm done here. All right, so now let's go ahead, and I'm comfortable with where this is at. So I'm going to glue this down. And once again, I'm going to use this, the big side of my glue, and then push it to cover more of the area on the card and not have a, you know, a big lump of it somewhere. Okay, so I kind of, after I get some glue where I want it, then I just spread it around with that end, and it works pretty sweet. All right. So we'll center our card front layer. Okay, then I'm going to pop up the ice cream cone with some dimensionals. I'm going to use the large one since this is a pretty big image. There we go. So I don't know about you, but sitting here making this ice cream cone today is making me think, yep, there should be ice cream in my future. But I'm trying to behave myself because I'm going to go away to a festival this weekend. And, you know, I think I'll have a treat then. So I'll have to fool myself by making like sugar-free chocolate pudding, I think. Not as much fun as this beautiful ice cream cone, but I'll be happy that I made that choice come the time I'm at the festival. Okay. Hi, Kathy. Oh my gosh, stitches in your nose sounds horrible. Hope it's okay and healed. All right, so there is a very simple, very inspiring card for a hot August day. So now the thing that I want to show you is what would I do with this in scrapbooking? So one of the things that I'll be talking about with the people in class is trying to find something that accents whatever your story is that you're telling in your scrapbook. And like I said, ours was the ice cream challenge. So actually what I'm going to do is make a couple more ice cream cones and then have them be a part of the spread that I'm going to put in the scrapbook. And then, you know, I'll be discussing how to choose what colors to accent with it. And like I said, I did choose the colors based on the color of the restaurant, which will also be going in the scrapbook. So I think it's going to be really fun. And I can't wait to put this image and more images like this into my scrapbook next week. But anyway, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to give me an email. And that's Tracy, Traci, at plumcrazystamping.com. Let's see, I'm going to put my face back on here. And, you know, it's my job trying to make stamping easy for you. So if you have questions or things that I could help you with, please put them in these comments. Please email me. And I'll look forward to seeing you soon. As I said, no more scheduled broadcasts this week, but you will see the registration form coming out for the scrapbooking class that's about going from beginner to brilliance. And so whether you're just new to making scrapbooks or you've done it for years and would just like more ideas and more techniques, don't hesitate to register and join me. It's going to be a blast. So take care, friends, and happy stamping. And please let me know if I can help you. Bye-bye now.